Welcome to the Fixed Ops Mastermind podcast. This week, learn the real definition of team from a Navy SEAL. All right, welcome back to the Fixed Ops Mastermind podcast, everybody. Today, our guest is Ray Care, and I'm going to let Ray do a little introduction of himself. He can do it much more justice than I can.
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate you having me on. Ray Care, call sign Cash, 48 years young, Baltimore native. My story in a nutshell, grew up on the wrong side of the tracks, joined the Navy, spent 12 years in the Navy, 8 of those as a Navy SEAL, then turned my efforts towards overseas security work, spent 14 years doing that. And now my passion and my mission in life is to help other people by motivating, educating, and decimating them, working with teams and corporations, focusing on my 4 F-bombs, which I have tattooed on my hand: my family, my fitness, my finance, and faith. And then the 4 pillars of success: teamwork, problem solving, leadership, and communication. And what we do is we merge them in so that you have the best damn product you can. And that is a team, which sadly enough is not together. Everybody accomplishes more. Team is trust, effort, attitude, and mission. And the mission is success.
That's awesome. I love that. And obviously in fixed ops inside the dealerships, that is what we are trying to get to, is to get our team to perform the absolute best they can. It's called fixed operations because we only have a certain amount of hours each day to be able to sell, and you can't get any of that back. So there's a fixed amount of hours that you need to get through, and you need to reach your capacity every single day. So why don't Can you kind of walk us through how you start to break down the 4 F-bombs as they relate to being able to perform at your peak?
Yeah. So what's so unique, and we were talking before this, that's where I fall into the company that I run, the LTD, Leadership Team Development, is we take things. Usually when you work with a company, it's like, we're going to work on this alone. But what I focus on is the battlefield to the business field to the home field, right? It has to all pivot and collaborate together, because right now we're dealing with the battlefield, the home field, and the business field may be all in one because of the COVID and everything we're dealing with. And what we focus on is how you said there's only so much time in a day. In the SEAL teams, we call that time-sensitive target, right? You only have so much time until you have to hit that objective, hit that mark, or things happen. So what we do is when we talk about family, and this is what I'll tell you, sir, let's say you have an employee that works for you, right? You have an employee that's just outstanding. And then all of a sudden you notice what we call a pattern of life, a POL, which I'll get into later, that they're off. And this is what you can do. I have solved the world's problems in four questions. So let's say I work for you. You could say, hey, Ray, I noticed you're off. Is it with your 4 F-bombs? And I'd be like, what do you mean, sir? Well, family, Ray. You are a husband? Yes, sir. You're a father? Yes, sir. A brother? Yes, sir. This. Are you having problems in any of those areas? No, sir. All right. Fitness, Ray. Fitness isn't just about the way you look. It's about how you feel and health. Are you totally sound on the inside and out? Are you healthy on the inside out? Yes, sir. I think so. Well, what about someone that you love in your inner circle? Your immediate family or friends? Maybe there's something there. Finances. Right now, everybody's dealing with the COVID. We're dealing with, I don't know what 2020 has thrown at us, but wow. You want to talk about throwing a wrench in the engine? Woo!
That's for sure.
But we have to keep that engine running. So financially, what's going on? Are you in financial strain, or is someone that you know in financial strain? And then last is faith. And faith, people have a misconception of the word faith. Faith to me is what I believe in. Religion and politics I keep out of everything. The faith is the ability to believe in yourself and to program yourself to believe in yourself. And I'll prove that in a second. But my point is, as a leader, as a team member, as a human being, as a friend, you can ask anybody on the planet. It will fall under those 4 things. If they're at the top of their game, at their bottom of the game, it's because all four cylinders, right? See what I did there?
Yeah,
are running at their optimal performance, or something's off. The timing belt's off. Something's off because one of those things are off. Now, I put family at the top and faith at the bottom for a reason. Family is what I care about the most, but all of them have to coexist. But faith is everything. And faith to me is about programming. Watch, I'll prove this to you. I'm going to prove to you, and probably the people that are listening, that they've been programmed right, and they've also been programmed wrong. So you ready? It's a test.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, sir. How old are you?
51.
51. I'm 48. So you got me by a few. So that's a rarity. But here we go. Fill in the blanks. What do you do before you cross the street?
Look both ways.
Okay. Now, as a child or any time in your life, were you hit by a car crossing the street?
No.
No. I actually had one person say it killed the whole story. But I was like, shit. You were programmed that, just like your parents, just like I program my children that an oven is hot. My wife used to do that. Hot. Well, you can program yourself every day to be awesome. So a drill that I make people do when they attend my courses is, my daughter, I show this video. She says, I'm a champion. I'm a winner. Every morning, it's the first thing that she says when she gets up. And it's the last thing she says before she goes to bed. Do you have children?
Yes, sir.
Boy or girl?
I've got 2 boys and a girl.
Okay, so let me use the girl because I have a boy and a girl. Would you want your daughter to get up and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to do okay, and hopefully one day I'll marry a guy who's going to treat me like dirt? No.
No.
It's I'm a champion, I'm a winner, right? So what I do with my programs is I go back in and I rewire people, right? I got to go in and rewire things. Now, let's see if you've been programmed wrong, okay? In the business world, right, if you sell a lot of cars, you're stacking the W's. That's wins. Do you agree?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So you can win with a W or you can L, which is what?
Loss.
No. See, you've been programmed wrong. See that? The only way that you lose in life is if you quit. Otherwise, it's a lesson learned.
Learn. As soon as you started that, I was like, that's a learn.
People get that all the time. But what you need to understand is, like, let's use the car dealerships that are successful, right? You see them here with their wins. Man, they're crushing it, right? I actually know Shandor Pizar, who used to run North American Chevy. Now he's out and doing it in Canada. But he says, Ray, you see this, but what you don't see is this. He goes, we have so many L's that are piling up that we learn from them and we transfer them over to wins. So that's what I do with individuals. And it has to, like we talk about pivot, or it's called max flex in the SEAL teams, where Battlefield right now could be home. It could be work. It could be anywhere. The thing is, right now, with everything that's going on in society, battlefield, business field, and home field can be all in one. So as long as you ask those questions and you focus on those 4 F-bombs, family, fitness, finance, and faith, and a great drill that I make every individual do, like, how many people work in the car dealership that you have?
Probably about 70 total.
Love it. So this is what I tell people. Take this thing out. It's called a camera and a phone. And you put it up, and whenever I'm speaking, I say, okay, take a picture of the Navy SEAL. And I have them turn it around, and I have them take a picture of themselves. And then what I want you to do is I want you to grade yourself on your 4 F-bombs. And you need to make as many avenues as you can. Family. Am I a father? Am I a husband? Am I a brother? Am I a sister? Am I whatever it is? And just make as many avenues as you can and grade yourself 1 through 10. Fitness, the same thing, right? If you're not getting up and spending 10 or 20 minutes a day working out or doing something fitness, go to the doctor twice a year versus once. I don't believe in meeting the expectation. I believe in exceeding it. I go to the doctor 3 times a year to get checked up on. Why? Because I don't want to get blindsided by some disease that I could have known about because I've done this, right?
Right.
Finances. What are you doing to create wealth? How do you create wealth? Well, you organize, you prioritize, and you monetize. Everything that you do in life, I try to find monetization in everything I do. And it's not just from a money standpoint. If I can create knowledge, trust, relationships, I'm building wealth, right? But I have to prioritize and organize a structured system of doing that. I make people take pictures of this. And then, of course, faith, the one that most people bomb on is the faith. I have a client of mine who's worth like $500 million, and he was scared to come to one of my courses. He goes, I would, but, and I'm like, but, huh? And I always do the dun, 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 dun. He's literally doing, I'm like, dude, I'm Jaws, and your blood, you're like blood in the water. You can't tell me that you you close 40, $50 million deals, right? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, do you go in there and go, but? He goes, no. The thing is you need to grade yourself, figure out what your deficiencies are, your weaknesses. Let's not pull punches. And then instead of running from them, that's where I have the attack the hill mindset with the conquer. Mm-hmm. You need to expose them, magnify them, and then learn how to use that kryptonite or that crutch and turn it into your new superpower. And that's how businesses get better. One of the best drills that you can give a company, and I know I'm talking too much, is this. We just did this with Comcast Cable. We had 28 of the biggest executives in the world, and we had them on there. And the gentleman's name is Rob. He runs Comcast. He's lives up in Connecticut, gazillionaire. And I said, here's the drill. We got 28 people in here. Yes, sir. I said, I need each one of you to take 30 seconds and tell someone two things. If you ever had a nickname, what it was, and two, a hobby that you have that no one knows about. Now, when you get into these big corporate things, you have an hour and 30 minutes. And literally an hour and 30 minutes are like, we got to go by. Bloop. Well, we started doing this and people started learning from each other. Two guys, the head guy and another guy were into gardening and this and this. And then all of a sudden, I got a text from the boss and he goes, hey, listen, I don't care what it costs. Keep it going. And then he goes, are you okay with that? And I just went like this. Me and my business partner went. And he literally said, excuse me, Ray, I got to stop this. Everybody cancel all your meetings for the next hour. Because what we did was we were building a bond and a trust and the relationship that the team was getting stronger. And he realized this. He realized that he lived 3 miles away from a guy for the last 15 years and had no clue. So the way that you build this team, the trust, effort, attitude, and mission is you get people, and again, at first they're hesitant about it. But as soon as someone takes the leap of faith, and usually it's the leader, hey, my name is Ray Kerr. A hobby of mine that you don't know, I love the series Yellowstone. Me and my wife just watched it. What's another hobby? Something you don't know about me. My wife calls me Gappy because I got a big gap in my tooth because I got my teeth blown out when I was in Mosul, Iraq. And then all of a sudden someone will be like, wow, I like Yellowstone too. Or, wow, I have problems. And the next thing you know, someone's going to be, can I go next? And then it creates this bond. And then what happens is we have other steps and stages where people, if a team is just working together and they're leaving, they're not a team. They're a bunch of people that are collecting their paycheck. But a team that believes in each other and the mission is, whatever the mission is, right? Every company should have core values, right? At least 3 core values. I instill this, right? I will go into a company and I give them drills. And what I do is I show that company how bad they are at teamwork, problem solving, leadership, and communication. And then the CEO sits there and does this. Well, we're a $1 billion company. Yes, sir. But what if I can make you 1% better? 1%? 1% of $1 billion? Yes, sir. What if I could make you 1% better? And not only that, if I could make your team 1% better every day until they decide they need to move on. He goes, done. How much? How are you going to do that? Well, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to expose your weaknesses, and then I could leave. But what if I expose your weaknesses? I show you what the problem is, but then I give you a solution. And that's what we do, right? Everybody has a problem. No one has a solution. So what I do is I come in, I expose the problem. You show me what the problem is, and then I have the solution for it. And the solution works. And that's what we're doing.
Yeah, that's awesome. Your passion is amazing, sir.
I love it because you see it. I mean, I work with NFL football teams. I work with college football teams. I work with kids. But when you do the companies, the reason why I love corporate is because of this. They have egos and attitudes. And I tell them, leave them at the door because I don't have any time for it, especially guys like, well, listen, boss. I don't, like I tell people when I speak, it doesn't matter what I've done. Let me tell you what I can do. Comcast Cable, I don't care what you've done. Let me tell you what you're going to be able to achieve after I do this. And literally he was like, okay. And for like the first 2 weeks, we did a 6-week course with him, exactly what you think, new relationship, their distance. But that 1 week, that 3rd week, when we started incorporating, right, the communication drills and transmitting and receiving back and forth and then seeing the light bulbs come on, that's where the passion comes from. Like I'll ask a question. Hey, each one of you go through this. It takes 5 seconds. One word. What is your why? Most people say family, 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 family. Okay, now I need to be more. Now I need you to take 10 seconds and do it again and be more specific. And we do this. It's a 30-minute drill to the point where people know exactly what their why is. And then what they do, if they're smart enough, it's like that memorization drill. Well, shit, Sally and Bob both have almost the same exact whys. Well, then why aren't you two, get it? See what I did there? Why aren't you two talking? Why aren't you two connecting? Why aren't you two learning from each other? And then what happens is you start getting these relationships, and a team is like when you shoot a gun. When you first start, that shot pattern is super wide. And then what we want to do is we want to make it tighter and tighter and tighter until it's an expert shot like this, when everybody is firing off the same cylinder. That's what I do, and I love it.
Yeah, that's when you were talking about the wealth and looking at trust and relationships as a factor of wealth, or as a wealth in itself. That is from what we're doing in the fixed ops. That's one of the things that we talk a lot about, is that we need the trust of the customer, but the employees need the trust of each other to know that, the advisor needs to know that the tech is going to give them the right diagnosis of the car, to talk to the customer and all of that. And I love the analogy of looking at that as that's a way for them to build wealth. It's a great way for me to be able to explain to my team better what the benefit of it is.
Most teams and human beings are one-dimensional. They only think, like when I always do this, I go up and say, tell me what wealth and power, what's the first thing that come to mind are? And people always go, money. Not money. The more that I learn, the more that I earn. That's what I've told people. And I actually say that to the Bejos Cooley, and we always do like a little Wonder Twin Powers activate. It's like learn to earn. Well, I'm learning to earn. Yeah, money's one of them, but trust, respect, admiration, appreciation. There's so many other things that literally are going to make, and if you get all those other things, the money will come. I get it. They say money is the root of all evil. I don't believe that. I don't have any money now, and I'm happy as can be. So you know what? As long as what I tell people is, as long as you're being the best version of you, right? And whatever you do, that's what counts, right? You're born, there's the dash, and then you go away, right? The dash is what matters. One of the drills I tell people is it's pretty powerful. Write your obituary right now. Ray Care was a man who, boom, 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 boom. I just put a couple bullet points.
Wow.
Well, shit, I don't like that. I don't like that bullet points. Well, guess what? That's why I also have that tattooed on my hand too. That's the hand of time. I don't know how much time I have, because it's the most precious commodity on the earth, right? It's part of my conquer mindset. But what I do know is that right now I'm alive. I am the captain of this vessel. I can change that. If I'm known for being a-hole, guess what? Until I'm going to focus on not being that until the day till that tombstone or whatever is going to happen is there. That's how you have to look at life, by attacking the hill.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking when we said money was equated with power and things. Is that I don't think there's many people out there that want to be the ultimate rich asshole. That nobody hangs out with. Then your money is no good, right?
I agree. You can buy a lot of things, but it's hard to buy respect.
Right.
That's the one thing you can't buy from me. That's the one thing you have to earn, and that comes through the trust, the effort, the attitude, and the mission. That's it.
Yeah, absolutely. That is awesome. So let me ask about Conquer on your shirt. Because that is encompasses everything, right? That you believe in, all the leadership and all of that, but it all has to come together.
Yes.
Right. For you to truly function at an elite level.
Yes,
so where would you say is the best place for somebody to start who wants to become elite at anything? Where do you think is the best place to start?
First thing to start with is C is the clock of. That's why I put it there. Falls under time management. Now I'm not a businessman, so in the business world we say time management, but in the warrior world we say guard our time. How do I guard my time? Well, this is what I tell people to do. A couple things. Number one, live by this motto. Okay, if you want to be a leader, you ready? Because leaders lead from the front. They lead always, and they lead themselves. Okay. And this is what I'll tell you. My watch is always 15 minutes ahead of time because this is my motto in life. And if a leader, there's two types of leaders: do as I say, not as I do, and do as I say, do as I do. That's the best kind of leader on the planet. And that kind of leader is the Colonel Hal Moore from We Were Soldiers. If I'm early, I'm on time. If I'm on time, I'm late. And if I'm late, I should be fired. Right? I was only taught a few things from my father before he was taken from me when I was 11. And that was one of the things that he taught me. And the other thing was, he says, whenever you shake a man or a woman's hand, you look them in the eye and you make sure they know there's no other place on the earth that you would rather be. And I thought about that. So whenever I shake someone's hand, I look right at him. How you doing, sir? Right? And you got to figure out how much you're going to give with that, right? You know, like, you size them up. So that's number one. Live by that motto, right? Time-sensitive target. We don't know how much time we have. It's the most precious commodity. Number two, do you know who Rob O'Neill is?
Yes.
One of my best friends. I'm going to be playing golf with him next month in Kid Rock.
Nice.
Right? He killed Osama bin Laden. How do we kill Osama bin Laden? With his phone. Mm-hmm. He has a pattern of life. Cell phones, when you move, they hit towers and they come back down, and it leaves a footprint. Yep. Human beings leave a footprint too. Every day we're creatures of habit. I get up every morning at the same time and I do the same damn thing. But what I also do is I created a pattern of life. I wrote it down. You want to be a great leader? This is what you need to figure out. You need to find more time in your day so you can focus on being a better leader. So for 30 days, not this 2190 bullcrap habit lifestyle. I don't believe in that. Only reason I picked 30 is because it's repetition. It's 1 month. Yep. From the time you get up to the time you go to bed, I want you to write down things like from the time I get up at this time. And then I want you, it's called emotional discipline. You need to write things that are going to write things down that are going to spike you, right? Hot area, cold area, right? When my wife's hot, she's yelling at me. When she's cold, she's ignoring me. I want to be in the green. That's why see this green line right here? That's why I put that there, right? I want to be the constant, but we're never going to be that. We're going to be like this.
Yeah.
And then what you need to do is after those 30 days, you need to take a red marker, right? And you lay it out on an Excel spreadsheet. That's all I do. And I circle anything that's negative. People, place, thing, or entity in my life. Give you an example. Get up in the morning. If you don't get up the same time every morning, why? Why get up between 8 and 8:30? Well, that's just stupid. What's the earliest time you get up? I get up 8 o'clock. Okay, I want you to get up 7:50. Why? Because I need you to get up and start attacking your day earlier because you've won the lottery. The sooner you get up, the sooner you can start learning how to lead. So stop wasting time. And then what you're going to do is you start crossing that stuff off. Average person, an 8-hour workday spends 1.5 hours on social media. Unless that's their job. Think about that. In a month, that's 30 hours a week. That's 30 hours in a month. They could use that 30 hours to be a better leader.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what I make people do is I put it in front of them, and just like that self-evaluation drill that they did with the camera, they take a picture of that, and literally this is what they say: oh, crap. I spend 3 hours a day on social media. Is social media generating you any money? No. Okay, so all you're doing is watching a soap opera, living through other people's lives. I go to McDonald's 3 times a week, but you told me you're 10 pounds overweight. So if you start Xing that stuff out and you start replacing it with positivity, what's going to happen is that average person is awake, 14 hours a day, give or take. And if you're wasting 5 hours of that day doing just stupid crap, and I can cut that in half and you have an extra 2.5 hours, then what we do is we figure out how can we be better in that time. I'll tell you how. Read. This is a new book I've got to read. If you're going to get on the internet and research something that is of interest.
Right.
A great drill that I tell people: you want to be a great leader. And from the family standpoint. So what me and my wife are doing right now is at night, we read this for 20 minutes. I read 2 pages. She reads 2 pages. We're actually doing this together.
That's cool.
So I'm learning and we're doing something together. Now, this isn't King, Warrior, Magician, Lover. It's not really her cup of tea, but it's a book I have to have read by Monday. So she was like, sure. So that's how you're going to become a better leader, by freeing up time from the negativity. Oh, I forgot to tell you the last one. And then once you figure out what all that negative crap is, trim the fat. That's the big one. Trim it. Cut it loose. You want to be a sirloin, be a sirloin. I want to be a filet mignon. I want to be the leanest cut of meat there is. And I want to get rid of all that negativity, because this is what I'm going to tell you. seesaw of life. You put a negative person on an empty seesaw, it's going to go down. You with me?
Right.
How many people do you need to counter that out and make it even? Seven.
Whew, that's a big number.
If you have 6 employees and one's negative, it's only a matter of time before they're all negative.
Yeah.
Got to cut them loose. Jim Collins has a book out, Good to Great. He says, in life and in business, do you have a person on the wrong seat of the bus, or are they on the wrong bus? Meaning, if they're on the wrong seat of the bus, maybe they need to be moved, they need to be trained, they need to be taught, or you have someone on the wrong bus that's just not a fit in your company, in your life, in your battlefield, and you need to terminate them, fire them, give them their walking papers, whatever it is, you need them out of your life so you have more time to focus on the people that want to be there.
Yeah, that negativity is so powerful, and it like you said, it takes so much positivity to overcome that negativity. That it does become just too much of a time suck in your day to try and overcome all of that. I love that exercise of putting everything on there for 30 days. And I'm picturing, I feel like I'm fairly vigilant with my time, but I'm picturing writing all that down and looking at it.
And it seems like it's a pain in the butt. All I do is have this thing called notes. I have it right here, like podcasts and stuff like that. All I do is when I'm done at the end of the day, I put my notes in there, I plug it into my computer. It goes right to my Excel spreadsheet. So, you were talking about negativity, right? Harvard Business Study. 54% of the average American goes to work and they're in a good mood. That means 46% of people aren't.
Yeah.
Take 40, you have 70 people, take 46%, right? What is that?
Yes. So
30 people
yeah.
are not happy with their job. And don't even get me into different revenue streams, knowing your core values. There's so much. In order for a team to work, they need to know the basics. They need to know the core values. They need to know what the mission is, and the mission should be entwined with the core values. And they need to know the different revenue streams of any business, right? I've worked with companies that people have been there for 2 years. Fit Body Boot Camp. I worked for Bedros Schooling. We had a gentleman there for 6 months. Sir, this is Bedros and Bryce Henson, number 2. How many different revenue streams do you have? They have like 5 or 7. Wow. I thought it was just, we have 5 or 7. What are your core values? These 3 things. Okay. Guys, on a piece of paper, write this down. What are the core values? I don't know. Okay. Write down how many revenue streams you have. 2 people got them all right. So let me get this straight. You have 50 people that work for you. You have 5 people that know your core values. And I'm just making these numbers. Actually, right. And this many people. But my point is, remember we talked about running on all cylinders?
Yeah.
The engine's not even starting with those statistics. It's not even running. Mm-hmm. But yet you're still being successful. Imagine if I could come in and teach your team how to be better, right? I mean, I get paid either way. And then I leave, right? And then I come back. And that's one of the great things about my program is I come back and I fine tune, right? Car needs a checkup, needs maintenance checks. That's why I like doing this. I always try to find the symbolisms of what we do, right? You got to rotate tires. You got to do this. That's what I do. I come in and I give you guys, right? I lift you guys up and get you running.
Yeah, it's as you were going through that and the revenue stream. So, I mean, our revenue stream is pretty simple, but even for like a service advisor, a lot of them are paid on gross profit, but you ask them to calculate that gross profit and they can't do it. So that's how they're getting their revenue stream for their life, right? But they don't even know.
And they don't even know the exact amount, if it's right, if it's wrong. See, that's not how a business should function.
Right. And unfortunately, there's too many ways to manipulate a gross profit number. So if they don't know how to calculate that, then they just have to take what they're given. So,
but as society, people are getting paid. They're happy. They're getting by with what they're getting paid for. They don't want to cause any waves, and they're happy. But I guarantee, maybe not your company, but other companies are doing exactly what you said. Mm-hmm. Somebody is profiting from that. I don't know who, but
Yeah, absolutely. And that all goes back to what you talked about first, which was knowledge, right? And knowledge, applied knowledge, I'll say, is your power in life. Acquiring that knowledge and then actually using it to bring your life forward and to continue moving. Excellent. Ray, this has been a great conversation. I love your passion and you related everything back to automotive. It was awesome. Where can everybody find you if they want to follow along?
The easiest way to find me, if you're on Instagram, I'm at Ray Cash Care, LinkedIn, Cash Care, Facebook, Ray Cash Care, former Navy SEAL. What I always say is anybody has any questions, comments, concerns, you can always DM me on my IG. I check that out, and I answer as long as it's a well-articulated and a clean question. I answer every question that there is. And we have links and websites. I'm not going to push that right now, but if you guys are interested in any of that, please check it out.
Yeah, we'll link all that up in the show notes so people can find you and hopefully book some time with you and get you out to their companies to square some things away.
I'd love it. I'd be honored. Let me know. I've done it with Chevy, and I'm ready to do it with the next crew.
There you go. That's awesome. Ray, thank you very much for joining us on the Fixed Ops Mastermind podcast.
Thank you, sir.
Wow, what an episode that was. Ray Cashcare, former Navy SEAL, putting down some unbelievable passion for what he is about. We will have in the show notes everything you need to know about Ray, and go check him out. Remember to leave us a review and a rating on Apple Podcasts. It helps us get this out to as many people as possible.